could not figure out what was going on. I couldn't figure out how to get it going. But happy Monday. How are you, babes? Let's see. How do I see the okay. Okay. You all have to forgive me. I am still kind of learning the set. Yeah. Okay, well, welcome to Fancy Girl Cocktail Hour. If this is your first time, Fancy Girl Cocktail Hour is all about having some girl chat, having some conversation, and having a little drink. Sometimes it's a cocktail, sometimes it's not. I am drinking some B12 water. So I actually have these little B12 drops, and um, it helps with metabolism support, and B vitamins help with um your energy levels. So that is what I am drinking. And our topic is going to be the importance of self-awareness and how to practice it daily. So that is what we are going to get into. If you have any questions, go ahead and pop that down in the comments, and I will make sure that I get to those um, as I see them, or, whenever it um is a convenient place for us to take questions. So let's go ahead and get into the topic. So first off, we're going to start with in talking about the importance of self-awareness and how to practice it daily. So the reason why I decided to do this topic is because, of course, the Fancy Girls Guide is all about um, helping to empower women and helping them to elevate their lives through fashion, lifestyle, and self care. And one of the biggest things about elevating your life, I would say the very first step in elevating your life, manifesting your desires, really creating the dream life that you truly desire, the very first step to that is self awareness, because you have to be aware of where you are in order to change or to make any improvements, right? And so I'm going to start off with what is self awareness. So I have two definitions. One is just like the um, dictionary definition, and then the other is going to be from psychology. So the first definition is a conscious knowledge of one's characters, feelings, motives, desires. Um, and then the psychological definition is going to be the ability to focus on yourself and how your thoughts or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards. So this is essentially you being able to look at your thought patterns, look at your actions, the words that you're using, and your overall behavior, and seeing how that aligns with your desires for the results that you're looking for. So, um, that is what self awareness is. Sorry, sorry, my I don't know, for some reason it keeps hold on. Give me 1 second to see if I can figure this out. I don't know, my screen keeps like going dark. I don't know. Um you all let me know if you can see me fine and hear me fine, or if, something happens. I don't know why the screen keeps going dark on my ends, but I don't know if you can see that or not. But anywho, next, so why is self-awareness even important? Which I kind of touched on when I first kind of started to discuss it, which is self awareness is important because that is the very first step for us to really take control of our lives and be able to create the lives that we truly desire. It's also going to help us with building relationships. It's going to help us within our career. It's really going to help in every aspect of your life because your ability to acknowledge, assess, understand yourself, your habits, your everything is going to directly affect the results that you're getting, in every area of your life. And so that is why self-awareness is so important because when we talk about wanting to elevate, wanting to rebrand, a lot of times the conversation really centers around the external when really the true change has to be internal in order for it to truly be reflected for the external. Otherwise, you're going to find that you maybe live a lavish lifestyle, maybe you have, nice things, but you're gonna find yourself still struggling with those same reoccurring themes in your life if you don't really focus on having that self-awareness so that you can make changes where necessary. So self-awareness, I want to talk about self-awareness versus being self-conscious. So self-awareness is self-awareness is going to be your ability to um view yourself fully and know yourself fully. Being self-conscious is more of um still more focused on the external of how am I being viewed, what are people thinking about me versus um just being aware of yourself so that you can make the best decisions. So I don't want you to think that you need to start being very self-conscious and very like, am I doing this right? Am I, how are people seeing me? It's more about the way that you see yourself truly, deeply. And um babes, give me one second. Okay. So now that we've kind of already like able to really take stock of what your thought patterns are looking like because your thoughts are going to create your reality. And so when there are reoccurring themes of like underlining feelings of, nobody's going to show up for me, I'm not good enough, it's not going to work out, just kind of all of those negative or pessimistic thoughts or any feelings that are or just anger, like let's say you have reoccurring emotions of like anger, resentment, frustration, or you find that you keep attracting relationships that make you feel unworthy, they make you feel insecure. So if you're attracting that, that's what's constantly coming into your life, then you have to be able to look at yourself and say, okay, if I'm continuing to repeatedly feel these feelings, where are these feelings coming from? And so being able to, now that we're getting into the tips of like how to practice self-awareness daily, so monitoring your emotions and your responses. So when you are finding yourself on a daily feeling um just feelings of hopelessness, or I mean it could be anything, whatever those feelings are that you find are reoccurring themes, um taking a moment to really look at yourself in the way that you're feeling and seeing, okay, what are the common themes? What are the common emotions? And even I would say maybe writing those down or, keeping some type of like I have like a little notebook that I just write down my random, whatever I have going on for the day. But you can write down just the different things that you're feeling so that you can keep my sister's right here. I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, wait, what's she doing? Um, but just being aware and monitoring your emotions, that's the first step. How am I feeling? What are the reoccurring themes? So that you can now become aware of the things that are actually controlling your life. So let me think if I can give you an example. Oh, let me give you an example. So for my weight loss. So I've recently lost about 35ish, 36 pounds. Um and over like maybe about 3 months. And I would say the biggest thing of, prior to that I had been trying to lose weight for about 4 years. And since I had my daughter, and I was 230 the day that I gave birth, and I would work out, and there was just this reoccurring feeling of like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to get my body back. I'm never gonna be able to, get back to where I was, and me constantly feeling those feelings of like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Oh, nothing is working for me, and constantly having those reoccurring thoughts that was being reflected in my habits of I was literally finding ways for me not to get the result that I wanted. So I was still, of course, working out because that's just something that's a part of my lifestyle. I've always been kind of like a fitness girly, right? But I wasn't drinking enough water. I was drinking like a ton of coffee, daily. Not really, sometimes not even eating enough or stuff like that. And it's like, well, why am I making these decisions that are obviously not getting me the result that I'm looking for? And so, really becoming aware of the fact that I have a reoccurring thought that nothing is going to work, and it's going to be so hard for me to lose the weight, and I'm never going to get back to where I want to be. Well, if I'm continuing to tell myself that, then my brain is going to find opportunities to make that true. And so that's one of those things when I say monitoring your emotions, monitoring the feelings that you're having. Now, this also can go into like childhood. A lot of the reoccurring emotions that we find in our life um come from childhood trauma, and just the different dynamics growing up depending on what your family dynamics were. All of that has an impact on the limiting beliefs or the agreements that we have in our mind, that we, beliefs that we have that we deem to be our reality. Which the truth is your brain creates your reality. Your thoughts create your reality. So you have those reoccurring emotions that's going to recur the thoughts. Those thoughts are going to manifest in your reality, and you're going to think that that is who you are. So being self-aware and being able to monitor that, that's the first step of saying, okay, this is the way that I'm feeling. Now the next tip is going to be to self-reflect from a non-judgmental space. So sometimes we can have these reoccurring feelings of maybe shame or embarrassment or humiliation or unworthiness, anger, frustration, feeling, like an outcast, or just there's so many different things that you could probably be struggling with. So, you have these reoccurring feelings, and a lot of times when we feel these feelings, what do? We push them down. We don't fully address them. We don't allow ourselves to fully feel them because they're not good feelings to have, right? But when you allow yourself to self reflect from a non judgmental space, you can ask yourself, okay, I'm feeling feelings of shame. I'm feeling reoccurring feelings of embarrassment, reoccurring feelings of anger, frustration, abandonment. Where are these feelings coming from? And so being able to self reflect and look back and think, oh, wow, like when was the very first time I ever felt this feeling? What are the common themes from the people that I maybe feel this feeling from? What are the common situations? And being able to self reflect in a non judgmental way, because a lot of times we might self reflect, or self-reflect, but what we would call self-reflection is really just replaying a scenario that made you feel bad and then re-feeling those feelings. And so of course you're going to run away from that because it doesn't feel good again. But when you look back on those situations where you felt embarrassed, you felt shame, maybe you made decisions that resulted in, you know, just maybe things in your life that you're not very proud of. Being able to look back on that and not shame yourself and say things like, why did I do that? Oh, I'm so stupid. I should have never did this. Or like, oh, I deserve, whatever. Because not judging yourself, but actually taking a moment to say, okay, I did this. Where did it come from? What is the root of this? Because there's nothing that we do that just comes out of nowhere. Like we are programmed for every single thing that we do. It's like your body feeling hunger, like you knowing that you need to take a shower. You are programmed to know when you feel clean, when you don't feel clean. And it's the same of these reoccurring emotions. These are just programs, things that happen to you that um emotions, maybe they got stored in your body, you didn't fully express them, maybe you didn't have a safe space, or there's the ability to fully understand your feelings. And so those feelings keep coming up. And so you keep attracting things that keep bringing those up. And so when you can do the self reflection from a non judgmental space, then next you can get to the root of each of the unsatisfactory behaviors. Um, Middle school or high school? Wish I could just be, straight hipped and, like the other girls, during that time. And of course now there's the popularity of the different body shapes now. Whereas growing up, that wasn't the case. And so the standard of beauty was very much thin, European shape or beauty standard. And I didn't match that. And I also went to a predominantly white school. So that really was something that I've had to really process in like my view of my body and my body image. It's like, well, where feelings of feeling ashamed of being curvy or feeling just ashamed of you know, being a little jiggly or being, whatever. And it's like not being able to fully embrace myself. And those feelings came from my body being critiqued at an age where I was very vulnerable, I was very impressionable, and I internalized those feelings, right? And so being able to get down to the root of where that came from allowed me to say, like, wait a minute, this is not me. This is not how I feel about my body. This is what somebody else thought about my body and they expressed that and then I internalized that. And so allowing myself to say, wait a minute, I actually don't believe this about my body. I actually think that my body looks incredible. I feel very confident. I feel sexy. I look beautiful. I'm strong, and being able to now rewrite these viewpoints. But you can only rewrite those if you have the self awareness to acknowledge where this started so that you can then unravel it and then replace it with something that is in alignment with your true values. Because I'm a woman that believes that I'm beautiful, I'm a woman that believes that I'm worthy. Um, and I can't say that I have a lot of situations where my beauty is being like criticized or critiqued now in the place that I am, but still having those internalized feelings and those um things that I was harboring from my childhood was having an effect on the way that I was viewing myself when I looked in the mirror. It was having an effect on the way that I was showing up in my comfortability in my clothes, or my comfortability of even like walking past or like walking, yeah, like walking past people and like not wanting to jiggle too much, or like trying not to like move so much so that people wouldn't notice how curvy I was. And it was like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This was somebody's else's opinion. And whatever they like is up to them. And whatever their opinion is them for them to have. And not carrying that around with me. And so being able to really unravel that, get to the root of it, and replace those negative feelings and those negative thoughts with something more positive, or something that aligns with whoever you desire to be. That is the foundation of literally building your dream life. So it's like, think about it as if you were, hold on, you want to think about it almost like if somebody was rehabbing a house. If you buy a house that needs some work done, you have to go into the house. You have to see, like, okay, what is going on with the house? What needs to be replaced? What's working? What's not working? Okay, now I'm going to get everything that's out of here that's not working. So you have to assess the work that needs to be done. And then you can actually start to hire the people to come in and do the plumbing and do the electric work and do the, the flooring and the cabinets or whatever, so that you can now turn this, you know, um house that wasn't what you wanted it to be into your dream home. And then you can add the pool, and you can add the tennis court, you can add, whatever it is that you truly desire. And so that's kind of how you have to look at building your dream life, building the rebranding yourself, which is what we talk about here all the time. It's like how to rebrand, how to create the life of your dreams. Well, the very first step in creating the life of your dreams is practicing self-awareness, so that you can see where things are coming from, so that you can then reroute things to go where you want them to go. So that is going to be, I think that was the last thing. Oh, and I did want to touch on the fact that self-awareness, although it is extremely important, it is like literally the foundation, I would say, of the the foundation of living a fulfilling life, and a life that you can be proud of, where you are showing up as your best self, and really feeling those good, valuable, worthy feelings. It is the foundation, and only about 10 to 15% of people have self-awareness. So that just goes to show you, like, you think about like the 1%, right? These people who have been able to, and I'm not talking about the people that are like born into wealth, but people who have been able to go from one place to another extremely different place in their life, and really create the life of their dreams. These are the people that have typically have practiced the self-awareness to say, okay, this thing that I'm doing isn't working, so now I have to make some changes in order to get better results. And that is really what we really want to do. So if you like these type of videos, we go live every Monday, Fancy Girl Cocktail Hour. We have a topic, we have a cocktail or a drink, or just something to drink, whatever you want to bring is fine. But we do this every single Monday. And then I also do videos throughout the week. There's like regular uploads. So make sure that you are subscribed. I do want to give you all a chance. Do you have any questions? I don't know. For some reason, I can't even see the chat. Um, so yeah, I don't know. This looks different than the last time I did it. This is actually our second Fancy Girl Cocktail Hour on YouTube live. I used to do it on Instagram. So very excited to be doing it on YouTube now, because I love YouTube. It's like my favorite social media search engine. So, but yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of the information, this year, 2024, is all about getting after it, standing on business, and getting the life of your dreams. I have literally changed my life with these things that I'm telling you about and I'm talking to you about. I have completely changed my life. And the funny thing is that even before the major work that I've done recently on my life, I would have described myself as like the queen of rebranding myself because I've always been the type of person that's like, this isn't working. This doesn't feel fully like this is my full self or my full life. And I've kind of always been on the journey of like really truly finding myself and really truly living in the life that I'm supposed to have or the life that feels authentic and natural and genuine to me. And I have lived so many different lives and they were all great, but this is my favorite for sure. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Um, check the links in the bios on the videos because I also write a blog, and that is where you're gonna get all of my like really good juicy information, all of my like favorite products that I'm using, all of the different tips, tricks, everything. Make sure you sign up for my email list so you do not miss anything. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I hope you all have a wonderful week and thank you so much for watching. Bye.